Superman. Alright, darling, what can I get you today?
Have you got any discussion of games that people have played?
Yeah, we got games. Yeah, how about some things you watched as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw them in. Two for a pound.
What about things that people have listened to?
Yeah, we got things that we can listen to. We've got some nice ones back here. How's that? Have a feel of them, darling?
Oh, that seems really good. And what about some queer trans people?
Couple of queer trans ladies? Yeah, roll them up. There you go. Do you want a bag or you got one of your own?
Oh, I've got my own. You know, I don't like using all the plastic ones.
Good plan. Right, there you go. Queer and pleasant strangers, darling. Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers, that podcast where two queer trans ladies talk about our weeks and do some silly voices and skits and have a bit of a giggle. How are you doing this week, Jane?
I'm alright. Bit sleepy from the weekend still, but...
Yeah, I'm a bit sleepy from the weekend and then a very late night recording session last night.
And another one tonight.
Yeah, and then a bunch of travelling. It's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be much.
Yeah, by the time that everyone hears this, I will have travelled, and I'll be in Germany by the time people hear this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a busy week for me.
I shall be in Yorkshire.
Oh, heck. We're doing all of the travels.
We are.
But yeah, how have we been? Have we been good for you?
Yeah.
Other than tired.
It's been pleasant, but sleepy.
Yeah.
Sleepy. Sleepleasant, if you will.
Sleepleasant. So, shall we dig into the things that we have done this week?
Yes.
And we usually start with things we have played.
What have you fiddled about with?
What have I fiddled about with? I need to get my list up because I've come woefully underprepared.
Oh no.
So, I played some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate this week.
Ooh.
Because they added a new DLC character.
Ooh. Did you buy the DLC? I did not know you had bought the DLC.
I, with my review copy, got the Season Pass.
Ooh.
So I get all of the DLC characters.
So fancy,
I know. So the new one they've added this time is called Hero, and it's basically Dragon Quest protagonist.
Okay.
Because Dragon Quest lets you name the protagonists and doesn't really give them set names, so they've just called them Hero. And depending on what skin you use, it might be the Dragon Quest XI protagonist, or I think one of them's the Dragon Quest III protagonist. There's a few different Dragon Quests.
Is any of them the adorable Dragon Quest Builders one?
I do not believe so. I do not believe you can play as the Dragon Quest Builders protagonist, unfortunately.
Rude.
But, yeah, so they're a fairly standard character in a lot of their moveset, but the interesting thing that they've got is they've got an MP bar, like your sort of protagonists in JRPGs tend to have, that gets used up, and it fills up slowly over time, or if you land standard attacks, it'll fill it up a bit faster. And when you use your down B attack, it opens up a JRPG menu down the bottom that'll have a selection of attacks to use that cost different MP. The thing is, every time you open that menu, you'll get a different list of attacks from quite a large move pool. So you can't just spam like whatever the best attack is. You will have, here's 4 attacks, which one are you going to use? So there's an interesting randomized element. Some of the attacks will be kind of useless. Some of them are like way overpowered. And it's all about very quickly opening up this JRPG menu and in the heat of battle, because you can't really move around while you've got this menu open going, quick, pick something, go. And making very quick decisions about which of the options I have available is going to be useful right now. Definitely play very differently to any of the other characters. I am curious to see how they'll do competitively. I want to play a bit more with them, but yeah, I started playing with a new Smash Bros. Character.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been playing?
I've been playing, well, and this will surprise you.
Yeah.
I've been playing that Dragon Quest Builders too.
So have I. How are you getting on with it?
I finished the third island.
Yeah.
Wasn't totally happy with all the decisions made there.
Both of us are a bit unhappy about some of the story stuff on Island 3. I've been assured that, like, there's a payoff for it at the end, and, you know, I won't be angry at it by the time the game is done.
But right now...
Oh,
now is not then.
Yeah.
Now is now.
Right now, like, I think both of us had the same response to the story stuff that happened on Island 3, where we were just like, fuck everyone here. We, like, tore apart the place where we were, we looted it for shit, we were like... The other two islands I left in good functional state when I left. This one I was like, no, I'm taking all your shit, and if you die, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Goodbye, all of you, especially the king.
Like, I liked that island mechanically, but the story stuff was like, no, don't care about any of you NPCs. You can all rot in hell for all I care. You've ruined everything.
I didn't mind it so much at the beginning, but as soon as they started taking away what felt like some of your agency, I was just like, nope.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where a plot point happens that made me very sad, that I felt like I had not only had no agency over, but was actively lied to about the game, about what was happening. Like, the game led me to believe one thing would happen, then it was like, no, it's actually for this bad thing, and you can't explain that that's not what you thought it was about.
Yes, and then you have silent protagonist issues of, if my character could just say this.
Yeah, I could give like 3 sentences and explain, and the character would be fine.
Exactly, but that was not an option.
No, and now I'm just sat here like, my favourite character hates me and I don't like this.
Don't want to go on with the plot.
I don't want to
go back to my island. And...
I'm just going to sit here and make my steam trains.
Yeah.
I do have my fancy steam trains.
You do have your fancy steam trains. They're adorable.
Yeah, I need to make some like fancy train station buildings to put around them, but...
I have neither track nor trains yet.
I have many trains.
I will probably start to build one eventually.
Oh, I know what I want to make. I want to make a train track that just circles the entire island on one single looping track.
I assumed you were going to.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, but that is the thing I want to do.
Choo-choo.
Yeah, and I need to do something train track wise to loop the multiplayer cave to the where the boat is. So I have plans. There are things I want to do in that game still.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how it all comes together.
Indeed, I hope it does.
Well, I've no doubt that it shall. Yeah. It'd be nice to sort of be able to go like, and here's a nice view of the entire island.
Yeah.
Like, I quite like the idea of like going out to the ocean and then just like putting one block just above under the ocean. Like, underneath the sort of top of the water.
Yeah.
And then, like, running track across. I know you don't need anything, but, like, I feel it's more pleasant to sort of look at with all those bits on. It'd be quite cool to just go, I'm on a train on the water.
Heck. I could have a train that goes out to sea and then there's a viewing platform. You can get off the train and have one of those, like, the train stops when it reaches there but can continue down the track.
Yeah, I don't know how far out you can get from there.
I'm curious. But yeah, I could have a little viewing platform so you can go out and just, like, have a nice ocean view of the island.
Look at my island.
Oh.
Set off your fireworks and then maybe go and...
Oh, heck. Yeah, that needs to happen. Thank you for that idea.
That's right.
But yeah, you're still having fun mechanically, at least.
Yeah, like, I've spent... Obviously, like, with all the stuff with the prison thing between episode 2 and 3, or Island 2 and 3, I sort of got a bit like, I'm just going to get on with Island 3 before I start building anything more permanent. So then, like, getting back from Island 3, I did all the sort of the plot stuff that it makes you do.
Yeah.
But now I'm sort of going like, okay, I need this here, and I need this here, and I need a bit of that over there. So each of the little areas is starting to come into its own a bit more now.
I want to put some more things in my big pyramid, because that's kind of a little barren inside at the moment, but I've got my little farm at the pyramid, and I've got the bar there, and they're sort of self-sufficient on food. I've got the big farm for when I need to do a food thing. I'm going to build up the castle, and I want to put a spa there. Like, I've got my vision of what the island's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I've got stuff I want to do. I haven't got any bars in yet. I quite like the idea of building a pool bar like the silver bar. Maybe not actually the silver bar, though.
Yeah, what I've currently done is I just have the silver bar, but I might... Later, once I have everything in place, like, and I functionally have all the stuff, I might dismantle part of the silver bar and remake it a bit more in the way I want it. But just taking the blueprint for the silver bar was a quick and efficient way to get a placeholder there.
Yeah. I like the idea of that and maybe expanding that out a bit more.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that stuff. And also there's tons of, like, rooms and stuff that I just haven't discovered yet. I don't know how much of that is going to be end game stuff.
I want to mess around
or if you
with...
just have to explore.
Yeah, I want to experiment with room types and, if I put these things in a room, is it a room type? So someone hinted to me that apparently you can if you make a bedroom with a bunch of beds and then put a bunch of the naughty nightlights in, you can accidentally make a room that is used for naughty red light purposes. You make a bit of a sexy time room.
Okay.
Apparently that's a thing you can do. Like, people have been like, oh yeah, that's a room types I could try making. I want to experiment with that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sexy time.
Sexy time.
Sexy time. I mean, I've already got sexy time in my personal bedroom, which I built in the castle.
Yeah, here's the bed and here's the big viewing couch for everyone to watch the bed.
Yeah, so I've got like a little sort of adjoining viewing couch around the bed, which I sort of stole from your idea.
Yeah.
I've got some manacles up above the bed. I've got a little sex swing between the couches.
You've got a very well-made bedroom.
I've got quite a nice bathroom as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. Have you not seen my bathroom? It's got a bath and a sink, and I'm thinking about putting one of those big, like, the public bath type ones, the big round ones.
Oh, yes.
Was thinking about putting one of those in there as well, make it sort of very nice and luxury. There's a shower, lots of big fluffy towels. It's got nice curtains.
I want to work out if I can put a spa in the bedroom so that it's basically the bedroom hot tub.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to make one of those relaxation rooms so I can put sort of spa-y bits in there.
Yeah.
But yes, still very much enjoying Dragon Quest Builders. Really feel like I'm squeezing every last bit of value out of that.
I don't know what your play count is up to, but I took a look at my how much you've played thing. I think I'm up to 70 hours already.
I think when I wanted to look, I hadn't been playing it long enough, and I haven't even thought about it since then as an option.
Yeah, I checked. I think I'm over 70 hours.
I think you've got more time to play it than I, so perhaps I think you might be beating me on that.
I don't know.
We shall see.
You've been getting in time before work, and I've been getting in occasional streams, which is where I've been catching up. So I think we're probably about the same. I wouldn't think I'm miles ahead of you in playtime.
I mean, you're about 3 hours ahead of me for most of the third island.
Yeah, I was a few hours ahead, but you definitely caught up.
We shall see. Anyway, I'll give it a check. We'll find out. Yeah, very much enjoying the Dukuba.
Yeah.
You got any others?
I don't know that I have at the second. No? What about you? What else have you played?
Played with, certainly.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's been a big week for you.
It has. I spent quite a lot of time cubing.
Yeah.
I don't know what brought that on.
But you've been doing lots of Twisty Puzzles.
I was like, I want to play with the 5x5. And I got the 5x5 out, and I was like, this is quite easy, actually.
You're fairly reliably solving it.
I mean, I was struggling a bit with edge pairing for the last few bits.
Yeah.
And I was struggling. I then had this, I occasionally had this edge parity issue. But I was like, well, you know what? I'm probably never going to get around that on my own. Because I fiddled about with it for a while.
Yeah.
So I looked up a solution for that. It's 15 steps. I don't think it was unreasonable for me to just go, I'm probably not going to manage that.
Is that the one that you made up your mnemonic for?
I made up a mnemonic.
Yeah.
Yes. Row rowboat upon the lake, under rivers, under roads, under fields, right, row forth, lie back, row home.
Heck, look at that.
Which will make no sense to anyone.
I tried playing around with the 5x5, and with some help from you, I managed to get the interior 3x3 of the white side and the yellow side. So I'll maybe come back to it another time and see if I can remember how to do that and ask you for some more help.
You are most welcome to try.
One of these days I'll learn the 5x5.
Yeah. 5x5 is fun. I've been getting sort of quite consistent sort of times about 13 minutes.
Yeah.
The edge pairing is probably the slowest bit of that.
The 5x5 I would like to learn, because that feels like a really cool one to be like, oh, you do Rubik's Cube? I do 5x5.
It's quite satisfying as well, because a Rubik's Cube, obviously once you've learned all the algorithms, you can finish a Rubik's Cube in 30 seconds to a minute.
It takes me 2 to 2.5 minutes usually. It's pretty quick.
But it doesn't really feel like a satisfying.
It doesn't feel like you've tackled a huge puzzle.
No, you've just sort of sat down and just gone, I'm just going to
You can't do
with this for about a minute or so.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice to sort of do the 5x5 in the same way I quite like doing the Mega Minx, although that's only about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that uses a lot of the same sort of like pairing ideas and other stuff that I'll come on into a minute, which is also cube related.
Yeah.
But that got me into like, I wonder if I can, like, I taught myself Rubik's Cube. Like, I learnt the 3x3 on my own.
Yeah.
By sitting down for 3.5 months with a notepad.
Yeah.
And going, what do the thing do when I do the thing? What do this do? What do that do?
Yeah.
And like, my notation was rubbish. I've sort of since upgraded that to like more standard because I've just watched like, hey.
Yeah.
I like almost as soon as I'd finished it and sort of could consistently do it, I was going, okay, what do they call it? What do people who actually do it actually call it? It's like, oh, okay, you know, the method I was doing was layer by layer, which made logical sense.
Yeah.
There would and like recently I've been like, well, how can I improve it? What different? So I've started learning CFOP.
That's the one where you do the first 2 layers at once.
So you do CFOP is corners, first 2 layers, orient the last layers, permeate the last few layers.
And have you been getting good times doing that?
No. But that's just because I'm still learning and I identifying the things. Especially orient last layers and permeate last layer. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think there's something like 57 cases for how, once you've solved the first 2 layers, what that top layer can look like. There is an algorithm for every single one of them. I don't have it in me to, and that's what I think what put me off previously learning speed solving.
Yeah.
Just like, I can solve quickly, but I'm not doing a very efficient method at all.
Yeah.
I don't have like a smart cube or anything, so I can't tell you what my average moves is, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's about 120 moves.
Yeah.
So, considering the speed I can do that in is not bad.
It's pretty good.
I've learned some more efficient things recently, like doing certain moves backwards so that I can do it quicker. And today I've started learning like soon and anti-soon and identifying, doing basically a 4-look last layer rather than a 2-look last layer.
Yeah.
So I can sort of identify I think it's 7 cases. Yeah. Rather than going, here's all 57. Here's like 7 cases I can identify. I know a number of moves that I can set things up into.
Yeah.
And then, I can do those fairly consistently without anything else. But then there's like the permeating the last layer, which is like, and I've got the algorithms. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to learn them. I would like to see how fast I can get my speed. Yeah. Eventually, I would like to get a smart cube and like be able to sort of do things through that and keep a track on things and like monitor like how fast am I doing this thing.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. I think you'd really enjoy that.
One day.
And we both did 2x2 cubes.
We did do the 2x2 cube.
It's real easy if you can do a 3x3.
It really is. I think previously I got hooked up on the fact that there was a parity error and I didn't know what the cure for it was.
I have not learnt the cure for the parity error, but
I found that it was so easy to just reshuffle it and start again.
Yeah.
And it not to happen.
Yeah, basically, if you compare 2 pieces in the correct places next to each other, it's basically just the corner solve that you would do for putting the corners in the correct place on the bottom layer. Then on the top side, you do find a corner that's in the right place, shuffle the other corners round so that they move positions until they're in the right place, and then do the corner rotatey algorithm again. It's not a hard thing to do, is it?
No, not really. I mean, apart from that one parity error that you can get, it's nothing.
If you can do a 3x3, you basically skip the having to make the cross on the first
side.
There's
no edges.
Yeah, you don't have to do the cross on the
Just
first side. You don't have to fill in the corners on the second layer.
And there's no edges on the top.
Yeah, you'd have to make a cross on the top.
Yep. And the other thing I fucked about with was the X2 cube, which you got me for Christmas year before last?
Yeah, the cube that looks like a big letter X.
Yeah, so it's a 7x7x3.
Yeah.
And it's a large X shape. So basically the very core is a 3x3x3, and then it's got like extra 2 stacks on either on 4 of the 6 points.
So you've had this for a while, and once you tried rotating it and went, oh, it's a shape changer, and put it back in place, and were like, I'm not touching this yet.
I think about, because you got me the set of 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, 5x5.
Yeah.
The barrel 3x3x2.
Yes.
Thing.
Yes.
And the X cube.
Yeah.
So I had a lot to be getting on with anyway.
I got you a bunch of Twisty Puzzles that year.
It was great.
Yay! I'm glad I got you ones that, like, other than the X2, and we'll get to that in a second, that largely rotated, like, pretty smoothly and felt good.
They're Mo-U puzzles for anyone who's interested in those sorts of things. And Mo-U do, like, full sets of, like... So they do, like, a 4 set with the 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is what you get me. They also do a 2x2, a 3x3, a Pyraminx, and a Megaminx as speed cube variants. They're not like competition pro versions, but they move nicely. They stay together well. I've never had a problem with any of the Mo-U stuff. And they are a nice, affordable way to get sort of good puzzles into your collection. So it's a good set, and it was a lot to be getting on with at the beginning. And I think like that sort of within that first week, I'd done the barrel puzzle okay.
Yeah.
It's not super easy. I did the 4x4, which I've got like a Rubik's Master Cube, I think it is. Whatever the 4x4 Rubik brand one is.
Yeah.
It moves horribly and it pops a lot. So it was nice to have one that moves wonderfully and doesn't pop at all, to my experience. And I sort of got it out, I scrambled it, I did it. No parity errors, wasn't a problem. I was like, I have done that, and I know that parity errors exist, so I'm just going to leave that done.
You did come back to it a bit this week, though.
I did a bit. I've realised that I just don't particularly like uneven cubes.
Yes.
Because of the parity errors.
Because there's no centres, and, like, that causes parity errors.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of the parity errors require, like, 15 odd moves to fix. Even on something like the 2x2, I've seen the algorithm for fixing that parity error, and it's like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
That's fair.
And so, like, it's quite nice to do, like, the even numbers one. And I've been looking online at, like, what is a solution for, like, a higher n by n cube.
Yeah.
And it's basically what I can already do.
Yeah.
As long as it's an uneven number.
Yeah.
And it's the same number all the way around. Although I quite like the idea of doing the 5x5 3x3x5.
Ooh.
It's a cuboid one, and it shape changes in I think 2 directions. So it's got a bit of that in it.
But yes, you did the cylinder, the 4x4.
I did the 5x5 again. No parity errors. It might have just been poor shuffling. I don't know, but I did that when I was like, cool, good with that. And I got the X2 out, and I just went, oh fuck. And I think I twisted it sort of 3 or 4 times and went, it's quite rickety.
Yes.
It makes a lot of noise. It's difficult to turn. And I was like, I'm a bit scared of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up reviews and see what it's like to manhandle, because if it pops, I've got no fucking clue.
Yeah.
And having now fiddled about with it, like, because you can shuffle it and it's into shape changed.
Yeah.
And then you just look at it and go, but how it do this?
Yeah.
Because, like, you can twist the outside edges when it's in an X shape. Or as soon as you've got, like, a full 3x3 by whatever on that side, you can twist the end bits. But when they're loose, they don't fall off. So I don't know how that locks into place.
No, and, like, I understand that it's a slightly rickety and awkward to twist puzzle, but also the fact that it works at all is a minor miracle.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, but now that you're playing about with it, do you feel a little less afraid of popping it now that you've messed around with it?
I've watched reviews and apparently it doesn't pop that easily at all. So I think that at some point during the year was like, okay, well, if I ever get round to feeling brave enough to time consuming into a big puzzle, I will sit and do it.
Yeah.
And I think also having done the 5x5 with regularity, I felt a bit more emboldened to it.
Yeah, and
so I sat down, I shuffled it, I managed to get it back into an X shape eventually.
Yeah.
And I've got the inner 3x3 sorted.
Yeah, so the white and yellow sides.
The white and yellow
3x3.
sides in the middle are sorted, and I've started getting the one leg up from that. I'm going for a layer by layer method again.
But you're spreading out from the centre, and you seem to be getting that.
I'm on the last two legs.
Yeah.
At the lowest point. I haven't even gotten the outside yet. And on the lowest two legs, I'm a bit I really don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
I'm struggling to because they're centerpieces, but they're also maybe they're edge pieces.
They're odd.
It's I can't really tell. I think it's an edge piece, but it's also a bit like a 5x5 center matching. But anyway, I'm very much enjoying Twisty Puzzles at the moment. I've got a big wish list of just a bajillion puzzles at the moment.
Send me that wish list, before UDP. Yes, I look forward to hearing your continued adventures with the X2.
Well, I might get back to it. I've not feeling super brave with it at the moment.
That's fair.
But yeah, very much enjoying those. Have you got any others?
No, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Have I played anything else? No.
So then, time for this.
That strange person with the big hat was very kind to give us this map for Pride.
Yeah, it looks like a treasure map. It's got this sort of dotted line, and there's a big X marks the spot. I don't know what's going to be at the end of it, but it's got to be some very Pride-related treasure, I would imagine.
I'd imagine so. So we'll head past the XR group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we just got to go around the leather daddies.
Hi. Some great outfits.
Oh, I know. Where do we go next?
We take a left at the corporate float.
Right. We head straight past the lesbian bikers.
Sounds like an oxymoron.
Yeah. This is the end of the trail, but I'm not seeing any treasure here. I'm seeing nothing here.
No. It is the greatest treasure of all.
But look! There's nothing here.
Exactly, look. It's a toilet with no queue.
Thank you, gay wizard.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, hi, Janet. How are you doing?
I'm good. Come in.
Do you mind if I make a cup of tea? I'm really parched.
Yeah, come in. Have a cup of tea. I'll make you a cup of tea.
Oh, it's alright. I can make it.
Sure?
I'm getting up in this.
My place is your place.
There's a bunch of dice in your tea cupboard.
Yep.
Whereabouts does the tea move to? This used to be where the tea is, and there's just a bunch of
try the
dice.
caddy. Try the caddy.
The caddy. That's also full of dice.
No, the other caddy. That's the.
Oh, the other one. Okay. That's also full of dice. These ones at least look like the colour of tea bags.
Yeah, they were a really nice colour, and they were on offer, and they're metal, and they're perfectly weighted, and down to a micron perfectly.
Okay. Do you mind if I just get some fruit juice out the fridge, I guess, then?
Yeah, sure. Help yourself to anything in the fridge.
Why are there dice in the fridge?
I was running out of space for all the dice.
How many dice have you been buying?
I might have bought about 7,000 sets of different D&D dice. They're so pretty! Look at this one. It's a malachite D100. You don't often see a single D100 like this. It's malachite. Slightly radioactive.
You bought so many D&D dice. Can I come and play sometime?
I mean, we could just play online. We got Roll20, right? So. What? have you put in your eyes?
Well, I put in my eyes this week Brighton Pride.
Yay!
Or at least a portion of Brighton Pride before we had to go and find somewhere to go pee. And went on quite a lengthy adventure.
Oh yes, an incredible adventure.
But we were in Brighton during Brighton Pride, and we watched some of the parade go by, and that was all very pleasant.
Queer and pleasant. In fact.
Queer and pleasant, indeed. It was good as ever to watch. Like, hooray! Here's the ambulance service, and here's a bus with a bunch of people from Mermaids on it, and here's a bus that's got a D&D related gay sign in the window. That's very good.
Rolled natural 20 for gay.
Yeah,
loved it.
A lot of good.
Also, whoever was standing next to us that was talking about having befriended a Tarask in their D&D campaign, I want to know more of that story.
I feel like that was an option in season 5 of Dice Funk. Like, if we'd got instead of going after the Mothman quest, we could have gone and befriended a Tarask. But, yeah, there was a lot of good music, a lot of good dancing. Yeah. As ever, I like the fact that Brighton Pride doesn't have up metal barriers, unlike, say, London Pride. So you get a bit more of a feel that you're not quite so barricaded away.
In the road.
Yeah, you're not quite so barricaded away from everything, which is nice. Some good choices of music came by on some of the floats.
We'll come to that in a bit.
Yeah, will be now.
Yes.
But yeah, did you want to add anything about Brighton Pride?
It was lovely. It was lovely. Obviously, I have the same issues I have every year with the gating and the barriers and stuff. Yeah. But there's a lot of people trying to get in, and even now it's prohibitively expensive. There are still things to do on the day for no money. You can go for very little money. If you can get there, you can hang around, you can watch the march, and then just head down to the beach and just enjoy the day generally.
Well, that's it. We watched the march for a while, and then, there's always the option of go down, just enjoy the beach, where there will be a bunch of gays probably playing some music and having a nice time. There's
lots of parks around.
We went and found some grass sort of near the big park, and just sort of lay in the grass and had a very gay time. Yeah. It was quite pleasant. It sat on some different grass and some people played some music.
Many lady smooches.
What else have you put in your eyes this week?
In my eyes, we put some things in our eyes as we were recovering from the weekend. Yeah, we sat and watched She-Ra Season 3.
Yeah, we binged it in one session, and oh my goodness, the ending of that season, huh? So, once again, I really like some of the choices they made this season. I think there were some very interesting themes that ran on both sides of that story about trust and making decisions about who or who not to trust. I very much like some of the new characters they introduced. I like the setup for a certain character potentially changing sides again, and I would like to see that character change sides, maybe.
Maybe that will happen.
I have my fingers crossed that something that happened toward the end will mean that a certain character might change their allegiances, which I'd be very happy about.
I'm genuinely not sure. After watching the first season, I looked up wiki stuff for what were these characters like in the original.
Yeah.
And that character was originally canon on the bad side.
Yeah, but I feel like this show has somewhat played around with some of the expectations of what these characters originally were.
I mean, even the of people of the Horde, there's depth to them.
Oh, that was such a nice thing this season. Was we kept just going, isn't it nice that X character has interesting motivations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a bit more of some quite major characters that we've not seen much of before. So it was nice to go, oh, that was interesting. Yeah. I mean, I would be interested to sort of go back and look at stuff from the original season, the original show, wiki stuff as well, how that ties together. Because there's things I've heard of from the original series and things from classic He-Man. How those things fit together into the lore. Because I didn't know there was a lot of backstory lore. I was a kid, I just went, I will watch the show where things happen.
Yeah.
And not really think about it, and play with the toys.
As someone that knows, like, a reasonable amount about original Voltron and watched the Netflix remake of Voltron that this same team did, there's very liberal use of, sort of liberal interpretation of existing lore. Like, they will use archetypes and certain plot points and certain narrative arcs, but they will definitely throw in, like, complete curveballs. In some cases, just to fuck with people that are like, I know what's going to happen. So, like, I would tend not to put too much stock in, well, this was what they originally did.
Yeah. But I'm always curious about how that is the same and how that is different.
It is a really interesting thing to read into. Like, when this show ends, I will totally be doing deep wiki dives on the original show.
Also, I think it's quite fun to go, what did that character look like in the original, where they all had to come out of the same mould?
Yeah. But I really like some of the development for some of these characters, and I can really understand how they've ended up in the places they have. I think, in particular, all of the stuff with Catra, I'm like, I just feel so bad for you, because I can totally see your perspective on this, and that's quite a situation you're in. But, yeah, DreamWorks are really good at adapting old 80s shows into new modern things that are much more watchable.
Yeah, they seem to be doing very, very well at that.
Yeah,
so.
I would, like, I never cared about He-Man, but after seeing Voltron and She-Ra, I'm like, I would
do a He-Man series.
Yeah, if they did a He-Man series, I'd watch it. Because I would have faith in them to do it in an interesting way.
I think they'd need to introduce more female characters, because there's not a lot of female characters in the show.
My suspicion is that if they're going to do He-Man, it would probably be built off the back of She-Ra, and we might have some overlap built off. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, that's my suspicion, is they're going to do the reverse. They're going to go She-Ra, and then that's going to lead into He-Man. But, yeah. So, we watched another thing as well.
We did?
We binge-watched Good Omens.
We did.
Which
I've heard many good things about.
Yeah, it's based on a book by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Yes.
And you can definitely hear some of the Pratchett in there.
Yeah, so the general idea for anyone who's totally unaware of it is it follows an angel and a demon who were around from, like, the Garden of Eden right at the beginning. And it basically follows the two of them during the last 11 days before the end of the world. And it's like, hey, this is the roles they both played in basically, history. That they played in history, but more specifically, hey, the Antichrist is being born to bring about the end of the world. This is the two of them interacting with each other and interacting with the life of the Antichrist. It's real funny.
It's funny. It's the character interactions between the two main characters is fascinating.
Oh, I think that David Tennant and what's the other guy's name?
I have no idea.
No, I've seen him in other stuff before, but those two main actors do a fascinating job. They've got great chemistry with each other for the dynamic they're supposed to have.
It's brilliant. I like the idea of it as well, about how those two characters interacted throughout time.
Yeah.
Because there's, although it is sort of set present day-ish, there is lots of flashbacks to here they were during the time, like, medieval knights, and here they were during the 70s. And
they have a very long-term relationship as characters that is real interesting.
Yes, and according to this show, it goes based on the concept that the world is only 6,000 years old.
Yeah, it basically picks some. It says, let's say that some aspects of a Christian religion are true in order to set up, like, the framework in which the story exists,
and that God is a woman.
Yeah, God is. Well, I think that the original book as well as this adaptation both play around with gender expectations and gender nonconformity in interesting ways that are never made out to be a punchline. Like, when David Tennant's character is the nanny for the child right near the beginning of the series in a sort of femme presenting role, it's never played as a punchline. Like, the Archangel Gabriel is played by someone who appears to be AFAB. There's a lot of, like, just not what you would expect of gendered casting, which is just really kind of refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really liked the extended cast, particularly the child cast that are involved later on. They've got a real, like, British countryside, middle of nowhere Stranger Things vibe going on.
It reminded me very much of those sort of, like, made-for-TV 1970s British movies.
It's what if Stranger Things was set in, like, Beryl-upon-Tweed? A little bit.
It's got a lot of the energy of, I think it was called Glitterball, I mentioned it on here ages ago. Like, that sort of, like, very brown and corduroyed, like children on push bikes riding around English country lanes being told off and by nosy neighbours.
There's a little bit of like, what if the Fantastic Five, is that the Fantastic Four? The Fantastic Four's the superheroes one. What's the five kids books? Is that the Fantastic Four?
Is it? I can't remember. It's Enid Blyton's.
Yeah,
five go mad in.
Yeah, five do what's it? Imagine if they were a bit more like a little bit more a little bit more Stranger Things. Again, I keep going back to Stranger Things as a comparison point. A little more dealing with dangerous situations
and American military bases.
Indeed.
And I think the visions of heaven and hell in that show were really interesting as well.
Yeah, as well as like the angel and demons' perspectives on things like spending eternity in what is supposed to be their eternal reward. Yeah, it's a real good show, that.
Yeah.
And I just want good things for those two characters. I just want things to be good for them.
I'm also curious if they're going to do more, because I was talking to someone about this at work today. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's just Amazon's convention for how they like log shows on the service, but it says it with Series 1. Is there going to be another series?
That is the way that they do their things on the show. But even if it's one series, it'll say Series 1. I kind of hope it finishes where it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a really nice self-contained story that I kind of don't want them to mess with.
I think every time someone says something is Series 1 unprompted,
yeah,
I'm always a bit, so what next? What do next?
I think that like Amazon obviously wants scope that if it does amazingly well that they could do something if they want with it, but like, we'll see. I'd like to see them do more Terry Pratchett adaptations, because I think that was a really nice...
I've always enjoyed the TV movies that they've done so far, like Hogfather was fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Was it Colour of Magic, like Fantastic? They did a single, like, 2-episode series?
I'm really glad that a lot of these book series are getting nice TV adaptations at the moment. Like, we had the Series of Unfortunate Events series, which was really well handled. The His Dark Materials is getting a BBC series soon, and I am super pumped for that, because the film adaptation of that was terrible.
I don't know the books, and I didn't see the...
I was a big fan of the books, and the film was... It was a Series of Unfortunate Events situation where they made one film going, oh, we'll make a series of these, and the first one was shit and totally bombed, and they never made the rest of them. So I'm excited to see the BBC and their take on it.
Yeah. I'd quite like to see... because we had the Going Postal Pratchett conversion, yes. I would like to see more of the Moist books, because I love Moist Von Litvig as a character. Also, more Susan. Let's have Susan movies and witches.
Well, while we're on this topic, book series that I would love to see get a decent TV adaptation was the Artemis Fowl books, which was like, imagine like teenage James Bond but with magic.
Okay.
And it was like, it was real good. I was a big fan of the Artemis Fowl stuff. And
I've seen them in the sort of teen fiction section.
Yeah,
I've never
I think the first one, Stormbreaker, again, got a movie adaptation and it just didn't take off. I believe Stormbreaker got a movie adaptation and it was just kind of shit. But I would love to see a decent like TV adaptation of that.
Did they ever do a second Percy Jackson movie?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Because I felt like that was supposed to be a whole series thing.
I believe so.
I watched the first one, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a series of books, but I don't think the films ever continued. Maybe they did, I don't know.
Oh.
Have you watched anything else?
No.
That's everything I've watched as well.
Well,
time for this.
Laura, we've got a new sponsor!
Who's our new sponsor?
This week's sponsor, in a world of chaos and madness and badness and just whatever is happening in America and with the Tories and all the other stuff. All the other stuff, the endless wars going on, the rising tide of homophobia and transphobia, the awfulness of the press. How about just a nice cup of tea?
A nice cup of tea?
A nice cup of tea?
Just a nice sit down with a warm cup of tea?
A nice cup of tea.
Oh, heck. Goodness.
How about that? Just a nice
that
cup of tea?
sounds great.
Would you like a nice cup of tea?
Yeah, what kinds of tea can I get?
There's like all sorts of tea. You can have black tea, green tea. You can have like raspberry leaf tea.
Oh,
You could have like you could have an Earl Grey, bit of bergamot in there.
Could I have like a blackberry green tea?
Oh, absolutely. How about like a
Oh.
lemon green tea? You can have just a lemon tea. You can have iced tea. You can have peach tea.
These all sound wonderful. How do I get on board with this week's sponsor?
Just head on over to a really nice cup of tea.lol.net and enter the code Q&PS79 question mark.
It's wonderful that we've got this deal. I'm gonna have to tell my friends Barry and Larry about it.
I
think they'd really enjoy a cup of tea.
Like they do enjoy popping the kettle on, so that is just a nice cup of tea.
Oh, heck.
Inside the boardroom of Electronic Actor Softworks.
Hi,
how's it going?
it's going well. So, you know how the other week we were, talking about putting microtransactions into games after they'd already come out. That seems to have been a very effective model for us.
Yeah, I mean, like, we got past all the reviewers, all of our boxes were printed out, they didn't have to have that stupid sticker on the back of it, so, that's pretty much all of our stock. Maybe we'll do another run at some point, but
like 90% of our copies won't say,
exactly. They'll never have to say microtransactions.
Exactly. So, I was thinking, if we can patch microtransactions into games, why not patch them into consoles?
I'm with you. What have you got?
So here's my stunning ideas. So, you've got a 32 gig memory card in your console.
Yeah.
We're only gonna let you use half of that.
Of course.
Do you want to buy more save slots so that you can use the full size of your memory card?
Microtransaction.
Buy our microtransaction to unlock the full capacity of your SD card.
That is
okay.
That is something. Yep.
You with me?
Yep. With you. Totally.
Let's say you currently you're capped at 100 friends on your friends list or whatever, and you want to add more people. There's no arbitrary, there's no reason we couldn't let you have more friends. Give us a microtransaction, you can have more friends.
How about this? We'll introduce a new cap that actually people start at 20.
Oh, heck.
And then people who just don't have that many friends, like, they'll have to pay the microtransaction to get some of their friends back. How about we'll offer them that, we'll hold on to those friends, and if they pay the extra, they can have them in the order that they were added. We don't want them picking and choosing, right?
Oh, no, exactly. And we don't want you to be able to, get rid of those friends for, your newer friends to slot back in. No.
How about that? A whole nother microtransaction for changing friends at all.
Ah, yeah, that is
voice
genius.
Chat.
Voice chat, yeah.
Voice chat, yeah, like, that's the whole thing, like, you've got the headset, but fuck it. If you don't give us, the whole microtransaction, no voice chat for you.
See, that's a good idea, but problem is, there is an alternative to that. It's Skype and stuff. They'll just use that. So I like your thinking, but I don't know if that one's gonna work out.
What about if, as part of the Game Pass thing, they will find a way of blocking their internet so they can't access Skype?
Oh, you're a genius. You're a genius. So, I got one more.
Sure.
Rumble functionality.
The
fact that your console, does it shake when you do stuff.
Yeah.
That's just turned off. That doesn't work unless you pay a microtransaction per controller.
Analog sticks. Analog control. It's all digital. You got the D-pad. That's it. If you want analog control, microtransaction.
You, my friend, are a fucking genius.
I know. So, what? Slip it into your ear.
Oh, I listen to a bunch of stuff. How much
did?
have you listened to? A lot of stuff?
Not
or?
a huge amount. I listened to what rolled past on floats on the weekend. There was a
Okay.
good amount of Erasure. There was a good amount of Kylie. There was... I'm trying to think who else. There was other people, but it was mostly Kylie and... Oh, and ABBA. Kylie, Erasure and ABBA.
Always a
There's
good bit of ABBA.
Yep. Gotta love Pride for that.
Yeah. Right, shall I rattle through my big list of stuff I listen to?
Do it.
I listened to a bunch of Pink this week, because I think some Pink played somewhere at Pride and it got it in my head. The track, Try, absolutely love that track, but particularly, and this, I wasn't sure if to put this in listened or watched, there is an amazing performance of Pink doing Try live at the 2012 American Music Awards.
Mm-hmm.
She does an incredibly elaborate, impassioned acting dance while singing the whole thing live without lip syncing it, and it's a real fucking work of art, that performance. So that is a great way to experience that track. Other Pink tracks that I really enjoyed this week included Raise Your Glass and A Million Dreams, which is a cover of a track from The Greatest Showman. Other than that, I listened to a new song called Now Hiring by Dr. Awkward, and it is a song sung from the perspective of a superhero who has no supervillain to fight against, and he just places an ad on Craigslist being like, hey, I'm looking for a nemesis to fight, I work a 9 to 5, so ideally, I'd fight crime 6 till 9, I need you to be this, that, and the other, any applications, and then a response from a supervillain. It's just quite a fun little sort of story-based song. There was a track called The Guide to Success by an artist called Joe Iconis. It seems to be a song sung from the perspective of a kind of older capitalist arsehole, singing about hey, you wanna be successful? Well, stop being all of these things compassionate and thoughtful. Ugh, gotta get rid of all that. And it's done in such a way that it's clearly meant to be you're not meant to empathise with the character who is singing. It's no, I don't want to do all those things to be successful. Fuck you. I listened to a track called The Driver by Savlonic.
I know that one.
Yes. How would you describe Savlonic's music?
It's electro.
Yeah, it's electro.
It's 80s style electro.
Yeah.
With amazing videos done by Mr. Weeble.
I really enjoy the track The Driver, about someone who just sort of seems like they're going to be running away from everything, and it's oh no, I left my wallet behind, I guess I'll go back, and the implication is, oh, you were never going to go, you were trying to make a point, you were always going to go back. It's just an interesting little song. Other than that, I listened to an album by Laura Jane Grace and the Devouring Mothers, which is Laura Jane Grace's Not Exclusively Against Me setup, because we're going to go see Laura Jane Grace very soon.
Do you think we can get Becky to change her name to Grace? And then we'll be Laura Jane and Grace.
We could try. Either that or we've got to find a Grace to add to the poly setup and then be it's Laura Jane Grace. Becky. Just sort of say the Becky behind her hand. But yeah, so they've got an album out that I hadn't got around to listening to yet called Brought to Rot. And I had to listen through that. It's all very, very similar style music to Against Me's stuff. It feels very familiar if you've listened to albums like Transgender Dysphoria Blues. There's a couple of tracks I really enjoyed. Apocalypse Now and Later, which is a track about, being sort of enamored with each other at the end of the world. It reminded me a lot of the game made by Anna Antropy, which I think is called Queers in Love at the End of the World, which is a sort of... It's a text adventure game where you have 10 seconds and then the game finishes. And it's, hey, you and your lesbian lover are on a hill and you see the mushroom cloud coming. What do you do? How do you two lovers what do you do with your last 10 seconds? The track had that sort of energy to it. There was a track called The Friendship Song, which was basically like, hey, I'm kind of fucked up, but you don't seem to mind, so thank you for that. Thank you for liking me for everything I am.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a track called Manic Depression, which has some relatable lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is all the things I listened to. Have you listened to any other things?
No, I listed all my things at the beginning.
Well then, time for this.
Ooh. So, we've just calling everyone here together. Lovely to have you all here. So, we remember a few years ago we tried pot mash to expand the pot noodle range. We've tried that. It didn't seem to go very far, but it was certainly worth a try. There was a big fad for a while for pots of mashed potato. We've got pot pasta. That's still kind of going. Some people are into that. There is a whole range of the pot pastas now, but we need a whole new range of pot pastas, especially for, we're moving into Brexit. People are going to have less money, so perhaps some discount pot noodle alternatives.
Okay. So I've been thinking about what might be next for the pot noodle brand.
Yes.
How about this? Pot gruel.
Right, yep. So it's just... There's nothing creamy in there at all. It's just
gruel. It's just gruel. It is basically nutritious-ish enough to sustain you.
It's filling, certainly.
It's filling, yes.
Filling.
That's the right word.
And cheap.
Yes.
Okay. How about in the filling and possibly nutritious? Depends how much you boil it. Pot cabbage.
Just cabbage.
Just some boiled cabbage, reconstituted, obviously.
It's dried cabbage that you
yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I see.
There won't be a flavour sachet in there or anything. Just more cabbage.
How about pot kale?
That sounds a bit fancy.
Oh,
well, how about we dial it back to pot sprouts?
Oh, yeah. And if, you don't want just vegetables, pot tripe?
Oh, I think there's a whole market for that. They'll probably be very up. They'll be popping that one in the meat raffle, no doubt.
Ooh.
Okay, how about something for the vegans? A pot lentil.
Ooh,
it's just a pot full of lentils.
Well, maybe we can instead get into the pet food market.
Mm-hmm.
How about pot locust?
Well, they're very nutritious. They're not just for pets, but yes, pot locust certainly is.
Yeah.
And especially, once, it becomes completely untenable to farm actual animals, more people probably will be eating locusts. With that in mind, how about this one? I think this is the winner. Is the real winner. A pot mealworm.
Oh, it's got meal in the title.
Exactly. And they're incredibly nutritious.
I think we should send it straight over to marketing right this minute.
Hey kids, try a pot mealworm.
Darling, can we have a sit down?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so, you've applied to be the resident drunk girl who compliments people at a rave.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so let's see, can you pinpoint the exact level of drunk where you can reliably keep complimenting people, like, all night, yeah?
I can, but before I do, I just want to tell you, your glasses really suit you. They make you look very refined and dignified and very cute.
Thanks, love. Yeah, I need them to see, but always nice to have a bit of style with it too, yeah.
Oh, I know, and your tie is so snazzy.
Thanks. Yeah, it's got chickens all over it. It's
know.
my hen tie. Yeah, so let's see. So you can keep up the level of drunk, yeah, and you reckon you can keep reliably complimenting people with very sincere compliments for like 6 hours?
I think I could do it forever. Everyone's just so lovely. It's just such a pleasure to see everyone so happy, and they're all so beautiful.
Oh, that's brilliant, yeah. So you're free to start like Friday night, yeah?
I can start whenever.
Oh, that's great.
I'm I'm having a great time.
I'm glad, right? So you're right to get out on your own, you know? Do you need a hand? I'll give you a hand to the door, love. There you go. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'm sorry we picked someone already, so we won't really need anyone else. Oh, well, that's a terrible shame. I was quite ready to compliment as many people as you needed. Shall we have a sherry, dear?
Oh, why not?
Yes.
Well, we can compliment each other.
Oh, well, that's a wonderful gallon of sherry you just managed to get down with there.
Question time. Some questions.
What's the question?
Jenny Artorius would like to know, on the subject of books, what are both of your favourite genres of fiction? And any chance that we'll see any writing from either of you in those genres? Also, congratulations on the book.
Oh, heck, thank you. I've really not read as much fiction as I would like in the last while. I quite enjoy sci-fi fiction, and I also quite enjoy, like, crime thriller fiction. What about you?
I like fantasy.
Yeah?
Like, especially fantasy where either there is a bit of, like, it's based in the real world, but you've thrown a bit of magic in there.
Yeah?
Like,
yeah.
This is a classic moment in history, but we've taken that moment in history and we've shoved some magic in it, like the Valhalla series by Snorri Christensen.
I very much enjoy that as well. Like, I mentioned His Dark Materials earlier. That is very much that. It's, hey, what if the world we know, but everyone was tethered to a magic shape-shifting animal?
I couldn't swear to it now because I've not read any recently, but I do remember quite enjoying a couple of Davy Gemmell books I read.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Also, I got sort of into the weirdness of Dean Koontz for a while.
Yeah.
It's, like, very easy reading.
Yeah.
For someone who is not that great at reading.
That's fair. Yeah, I like my crime mystery thriller things. I like sort of being drawn along by, oh, what's going to happen next, and trying to unravel mysterious crimes.
I very much enjoyed the Odd Thomas books. I think I read two or three of those, and they were quite fun.
In terms of creating fiction in those genres, I don't think those are genres I would be good at creating fiction in. Like, I have some fiction writing ideas I'd like to tackle one day. Like, we've talked about some of those ideas. There's one I'd like to try doing with you at some point, which I think I've talked through with you.
That'd be cool, because I have ideas, but I'm not very good at actually doing the writing.
There's that one...
I think I know the one you're talking about.
The fiction idea that's based loosely around a sketch we do on this show.
In fact, which case I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yes.
I would like to tackle that fiction idea one day.
I'd be up for that.
But, I don't think I would do fiction in any of the genres I like reading.
I don't know. I mean, like, I've got an idea for a book.
Yeah.
It's been rattling around my head since high school. I've tried to write it a couple of times, but I'm just not a very good writer.
I'm
in that sort of novel style.
This is the thing. If I try and write like a big overarching narrative, I find that I finish it way too quickly for what I'm trying to do. Like,
mine just gets way too convoluted.
Mine go way too simple. Like, I can do short 1,000-word, like, little stories, but, like, the reason I like the idea that we've discussed is that it could be done in small batches, where it could be 1,000, 2,000 words, and then here's a new bit of fiction in that same sort of genre.
Yeah, I think we could probably band something together out of that.
I think we could put a book together and find someone to let us do it. What about the next question?
The next question is from that lovely Callum Turner.
Oh, heck!
Remember Callum?
Yeah, hello.
If you could put together a festival-style lineup of artists for a day-long wiggle session, who would you pick and how would you order them?
How would I... Oh, yeah, what order would we put them in?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't know about order, but I would want to get... I would want to get My Chemical Romance back together and have them do a set. There's got to be a My Chemical Romance set.
That's got to be your closer then, right?
That's got to be.
I think you can't go anywhere from there.
Yeah, I think that's got to be a closer.
Unless you're going to put Rammstein on after them, in which case you couldn't really you'd need to. You couldn't escalate beyond that.
I think my end point would be My Chemical Romance or like Gerard Way or something like that.
Yeah.
I think like just before that, I would put on like Against Me. I would want to put on there, like, maybe open with an artist like Watsky,
Mm-hmm.
Like, someone like that could, like, get an audience, like, pumping nice and early. Somewhere in there I would put, like, Dessa in, who I've been really enjoying recently. I'm not sure who else I'd put in there at the second. Do you want to start putting yours together?
Maybe start the day with some Psytrance, some Talamasca. Get everyone sort of in a, like, trancey. It's not too heavy going, but it gets everyone moving. There may be some Orangeade, Aid Laugie, I think it is, on SoundCloud. A bit more drum and bassy Saniel. Also sort of drum and bassy trancey stuff, a little bit of dubsteppy bits in there. Maybe then sort of like mid-afternoon, just something a bit calmer. Some Kodiak Islands and some Sound Nation, something like that. Some like either some reggae or some psychedelic punk. Escalate that into like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh.
And then like really start to step it up. Maybe a set from Bass Nectar. For an hour, and then some Ed Solo, calm everyone down via Rammstein, and then into maybe like the Jared Way suggestion.
Oh, heck.
So there you go, we have a similar ending.
Yeah, I would definitely attend your day. It's not the day I would put together, but I would definitely attend your day. I'd put some contrast in the middle of my day. I might throw in
maybe
some...
put them on before Rammstein.
Oh, heck. I'd maybe throw in some Hayley Kiyoko.
Okay.
Who does very good gay stuff. And maybe a bit of the Front Bottoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question is from Slavic Slenderburst Hipster. Which is your favourite of the lesbian pride flags?
Ooh. Do you have an answer for this?
I like the axe one.
Cool. The lesbian battle axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the lesbian battle axe.
You've heard of sword lesbians.
Yeah, I am a fan of any lesbian iconography that involves medieval weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Like sword lesbians, battle axe lesbians. I could go for like a good Thor's hammer lesbian.
Is that a flag? That'd be cool.
I want it to be a flag. Just be like a lesbian flag that implies a medieval weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a battle lesbian.
Battle lesbian. Well, if the state of the world continues as it is, we might have to become battle lesbians.
Indeed.
Robert Shothoff says, you've been given the green light to produce a Nintendo dating sim. Ooh. A smash of dating, if you will. For season 1, which Nintendo characters do you release, and which character do you first choose to control, and which do you try to date?
Okay. So, I think my vision of the Nintendo dating sim... You play as Waluigi, the most unloved character from Nintendo standards. Mm-hmm. Nintendo, they never let Waluigi do anything. He gets to be in the tennis games and occasionally Mario Kart, and that's all he shows up in. So I'm like, let's find Waluigi a boyfriend. And I think that you basically put in all of the Nintendo male characters. I think we make a dating sim in which Waluigi has a chance to go after... I don't know. I feel like I need to decide who he's going to end up with in order to... Actually, no, that's not how these things work. It's you make a choice. You throw in, like, Link, Bowser, Wario, Mario, Luigi. That's my vision, is find Waluigi a boyfriend simulator. Here's the thing. Wario just seems like such an easy answer for him to end up with. Like, him and Wario...
That's the good ending.
That's the good ending.
How about this? That's the normal ending.
That's the normal ending. Like that's the ending that, like, if you don't go out of your way to, like, go after someone specific, you will end up with Wario. Yeah. But, like, if you're really into the idea of, you know, Waluigi and Ganondorf, you can go after that.
I'm just trying to conceptualize those two together.
It's a thing to try and picture.
Well, that's not even an option for me.
So, tell me about your Nintendo dating sim.
I mean, I think you should just, like, we'll take the Smash roster as a start.
Yeah.
And then we'll add, I want to see Linkle in there.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely want to see
So you're just going for, like, a free-for-all. Do you pick who you start as in yours, maybe?
Yeah, you can pick any of those characters.
And you can try and
then
date.
You can try and I also want Trans Link in there.
Oh, yeah.
I want very, very Trans Link in there.
I think both of these are totally viable games.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very much up for the Smash Brothers one where you start as, say, like, Link. I would pick to start as Linkle and go, like, okay, who am I going to have Linkle end up with?
Sheik?
I was going to say, like, Linkle Bayonetta? That's maybe? I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, that might work.
Oh.
Yeah, see?
That's so sweet.
It took you a second you looked confused at first. And then
No, there
were
was a moment of, what is that relationship going to be like? Oh, it's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah, that's my preferred ending to your dating sim.
I like the idea that Linkle's always just like going off in the wrong way. This way, hon.
Bayonetta just uses her tendril hair to grab her and bring her around the other way.
Turn around. Hand appears out of hairy tentacle portal. And she just sort of turns looking around. This way, hon.
Lots of defeating Linkle's enemies behind her back. Linkle's turned away and suddenly demonic Iron Maiden of hair shows up and just explodes a dude and goes, "It's all right, Linkle, everything's good."
I'm fearsome. Yes, you are, hon.
What other questions have we got?
No, too busy thinking about Linkle and Bayonetta.
I know, right? I want some Linkle Bayonetta fan art now. I want them to be happy together.
Chrono Hellraiser, have either of you played Miitopia?
Yeah, I did. It was the 3DS game where you made Miis and you put them in a town and they all interacted with each other. There was a smartphone game that was kind of similar but not as good that Nintendo made at some point. But I really liked Miitopia. It was a really fun little goofy thing. A lot of the ways that your characters would interact with each other were quite hilarious and fun. I like the thing where you can make stupid little songs in different genres. I really liked Miitopia. I would love to see it come back for Switch, get a port.
I've never played Miitopia.
No worries. You made a bunch of Miis and you gave them personalities to try and make their personalities be like the people that you designed them to be like, and they all sort of lived in a town together.
What was the mobile one that everyone got very into for about a week?
I forget what that was called now, but that was based on Miitopia, and everyone was hoping it would be Miitopia, but it was just shit, not Miitopia.
I got very into it for about a week, and then I was just like, done now.
So, imagine that, but, rather than trying to play with other people, it was a fleshed out, RPG world that you dropped all your characters into, and they did fun stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
Nerg would like to know who's the best Transformer, and no, you can't say Starscream. Why would I say Starscream? The answer is obviously Soundwave.
As someone that is so into Transformers, I will defer to Jane's judgment.
Soundwave closely followed by RC.
Soundwave gets to have cassette tapes in his stomach. That's great.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Runner-up is
RC.
that Transformer that turns into, that obviously turns into a set of traffic lights at the end of the animated series, and then nothing comes of it. It's just there's just a set of traffic lights, so it's do-do-do-do, and it starts to transform, it's and
they're everywhere.
Nothing happens of it.
but also RC. RC is bae.
Okay.
And apparently in one Transformers, RC's trans, I believe.
If that's a thing, then that's cool.
I heard that from that Bethany Turner from Human Tolerant News. Go listen to that. I was on it. It's brilliant.
Yeah. It was real good. You had a real good time.
Oh, you didn't listen, did you?
Yeah. You had a real good laugh.
We really should have mentioned that in lesson.
I apologize. You should have mentioned you were on it and listened.
I mentioned it at the end of last week.
Well, I listened to it and it was real fun. And you were clearly having a blast of a time.
I did. Caladry would like to know, what is your favourite way your cat shows affection to you? Last night, she just wanted lots of cuddles. She sat on the arm of the chair next to me and nuzzled into me so much she even brushed against my face. And usually she's like, nowhere near the face, she might bite me. I never would.
She will occasionally curl up on my lap and start licking my hand. And she'll just sit there just doing a clean of my hand. While she curls up purring on my...
Daddy.
Oh my god!
It's very cute when she does you a clean.
Yeah, she does. She occasionally does me a clean.
She did me a you don't smell enough of me.
I'm going to rub myself all over you so you smell of me.
Smell of me. Smell of me. Damn it. It was very adorable.
Aww.
And that went on for half an hour.
Yeah.
And I just had half an hour of, I don't really have anything to do right now. I'm just going to sit and wait for you to come down for dinner. and she was just doing many, many rubs upon me. I was like, no.
I think my favourite other thing she does to show affection is she will sometimes just curl up on this desk to the left of my computer. Mm-hmm. And she'll just spend the whole day just sort of curled up watching me work. You could just stay there doing a watch. I'm like, oh, no.
She's so specious and precious.
Yeah, she's precious, baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is all the questions. So then.
Time for this?
Time for this, yeah. Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warriors.
Alright, Larry.
Alright, Barry.
How's it going, mate?
I'm doing alright. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. You know, been a busy week.
Yeah, it's been a busy one,
Yes.
I've been, busy at work all week doing the old 9 to 5 for the old taskmaster.
Yeah, they treating you any better there, yeah, mate?
Oh, I'm still working in that, capitalism machine and whatnot.
We are all forced to at this point.
I have not yet found a workers' cooperative or something to work at, but I've been proper ticked off about the whole process of capitalism this week.
Yeah, well, it's simply a fact that, there you are, slogging your guts away, making, only just above, a barely living wage. And, there's, what did your boss say they got pay rises for this year? I think it was something like $4,500 each.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that it's the way capitalism works, and, rewarding capital for existing is just... It doesn't make sense for a boss to hire someone unless they can make a profit out of that person. And that ultimately means that they're being paid less than, the value they are producing as a worker.
Well, exactly.
And it's usually not, a case of we're skimming a couple of pence off the top.
Exactly, it's not a fair distribution of the work, and to be honest, mostly what the managers are doing, or, in the case of your place, they're very, very fancy fat cats. They're making huge amounts of money, and what do they actually do all day? They have fancy meetings with each other. They have fancy lunches that basically your labour is paying for.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like the problem is that the people at the top, they're not making that big money because they're particularly smarter or harder working or anything. They're making that money because they, usually through luck or birth circumstance, happen to have enough capital to start the company in the first place.
Yeah.
It's because they have capital, they're able to make capital through, not doing any additional work. Capitalism allows the rich to get richer at the expense of the stealing labour and stealing value from the working class.
Exactly.
It's a frustrating situation.
It is a frustrating world in which we live, and capitalism expands on its own, and it's been rightly identified that fascism is a natural point along late-stage capitalism, which is, something that's terrifying happening in the world.
Just a little bit.
At the moment.
Just a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, genuinely terrifying. Shall we,
have that hug,
yeah.
It's the only thing that's going to get me through this, capitalist hellscape.
Yeah, well, another week of it.
Right, do you fancy a cup of tea?
I do. I've got a whole selection in recently.
Did you get that discount code that's
there
going
was
around?
a discount off a nice cup of tea.lol.net.
Oh, yeah. I heard that sponsor on that podcast too.
Oh, yeah, I know the one.
Yeah,
not bad then.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Laura!
Me?
Where can we find you on the internet, darling?
Laura K Buzz, they're pretty much everywhere. Laura K Buzz on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Laura K Buzz on Patreon, that's the one that pays the bills. LauraKBuzz.com, you can find links to all of the stuff I make there. You can find links on there currently to... What have I done that's new recently? I did a piece for Sci-Fi Fangirls about playing Flappy Bird via Kegels. So that's a thing that I've wanted to write for ages, and previous places I have written did not want to publish it, and I finally found a home for it.
Yay.
Hooray! Other than that, there's Dice Funk, it's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. There's Podquisition. There's what else? Uncomfortable Labels. That's out now. It's a book about being trans and on the autism spectrum. As of the 18th of August, there will be an audiobook version as well. You can get that on laurakbuzzstore.com. And Things I Learned from Maria's Butt will be out soon. What about you?
Where can I be found? I'm Maniac Janiac on Twitter and YouTube. I'm Stoned Monkey Radio on Patreon. That sort of pays some of my bills. I'm glad that it is slowly building up. Thank you very much to all the people that are helping me build that up, because it's really important, because I've got to pay site fees for stonedmonkeyradio.blog where I write things soon. And that's going to be an expensive time of the year. Thank you very much to all the lovely patrons. Thank you to Tales of Inquiry, Rob Beard, Liam the Ghost Cat will use ectoplasmic, and then it cut off. Sorry about that. Jurgen Indie Monster Vane McForde, Conduit of Name Butchering, Jay Logan, Conduit of Queerness itself, Jayden, Basin is back, and Cassiopeia Swift.
And thank you to all my Patreon people as well. There's a lot of you. It would take me a very long time to read you all out, but you're all very special to me.
Janiac on important things. I'm Janus Magnet on SoundCloud. But basically, if you look for Janiac or Stoned Monkey Radio, pretty much anywhere, you can find me.
Yay!
And also paypal.me/JaneMagnet. Thanks. I do an appreciate. Because there's bills. Oh,
there are indeed bills.
Oh, so many bills.
Oh, so many bills.
So many bills. So, Laura. Sing us out, darling.
Until next time, be a stranger.